Welcome to another edition of the Social Proof Podcast. My name is David.
My name is Donni.
We're here, man.
We are here. We are in this thing, and we are so excited to be here. We want to go ahead and give a special shout out to our private community members of Actionable CEO and The Morning Meetup, who are in studio with us right now in person and joining us via live stream. Right now, they get early exclusive access to this podcast episode. So guess what? If you're not a member of Actionable CEO or The Morning Meetup, you're seeing this a couple weeks after they already saw it.
Yup. AD Dolphin said no more raps, please, which means we about to rap. And we go on Snap.
Hey.
And we in the studio, AKA The Trap.
Hey.
And we right back. Our second episode.
Yep.
Everybody knows how we flows from the nose. My kids dripping.
But you ain't whipping.
I ain't whipping.
You was just talking about gentle parenting because the monsters is driving you crazy.
That didn't rhyme, but it don't matter because we on time. I am a dime.
No, I'm the dime.
I'm a dime.
And you're the stud. Men are studs.
I don't want to be a stud either.
You don't want to be a stud? You're thinking of stud in another context. Men are studs, girls are dimes.
All
right.
Yeah.
Okay, we give up.
We're here now.
We are in this thing.
2024 is shaping up to be one of them years, okay? Donni said earlier this year she is in Beyonce work ethic mode, and Beyonce did not become a billionaire because she has a pretty face or because she could dance. It's the work ethic.
Yeah. It is the work ethic.
Yeah.
But her talents and abilities definitely leaned into that equation a little bit.
Yeah, but you can't have just Carrie Hilson. Beautiful
gorgeous.
Girl. She ain't no Beyonce.
She's gorgeous.
Kelly Rowland.
Gorgeous.
Gorgeous. I'd say more gorgeous than Beyonce in my opinion. Just from my perspective.
Now, why did we have to compare them?
Because I'm making a point. And my next point was ain't none of them touching my wife, but but Kelly ain't Beyonce.
And Beyonce isn't Kelly.
And Beyonce isn't Kelly. But in terms of status of getting, it's not just because Beyonce is pretty and can dance, because there's a lot of people that are pretty and can dance. But as those documentaries show us, Beyonce has a work ethic, which I didn't know until the documentary. I thought everybody write her songs and she just sing and she's just pretty and she put the fan on her hair and it just blows and she look at you like.
So you didn't see the documentary that she did when she went on the Run tour? She does a documentary just about after every concert tour.
Oh, really?
And she kind of takes you. It was definitely not produced to the level of the one that she just did with this most current tour, most recent tour. But yeah, she takes us behind the scenes and her work ethic is outstanding.
Yeah.
What do you think the difference is? I won't use Carrie Hilson because Carrie Hilson was blackballed in the industry.
Why?
She said first of all, I don't want to be blackballed by the Beehive because I am in the Beehive, okay? Mm-hmm. But she did speak out. I forget what she said, but she said something that Beyonce's fans didn't like about Beyonce.
Really?
Carrie was writing a lot of Beyonce's music and stuff.
Oh,
Carrie has written songs for a lot of people, and I won't say a lot of her music, but I know that she has written for Beyonce. But anyway, she spoke out, and it probably had something to do, as far as I can remember, with why she wasn't as big a star. They didn't like it. She got blackballed from the industry. And so that's why you saw her on top of the world with her songs, because she really was at one point. The Pretty Girls Rock was killing it. Her and Neo's song was killing it. And then she completely went radio silence because she had a little blackball. So we can't compare her. But what do you think the difference is between a Beyonce and Rihanna and, I don't want to say Kelly, because they're group members, but who else? Give me two other.
Well, I think the thing is we don't know. And the only thing I was comparing was my statement of it's not just that she's pretty. So I was naming other pretty women.
Well, but it's also not work ethic, because I would say that Kelly and Michelle have outstanding work ethic as well. It's not just.
Do we know that?
Well, what do we not?
I don't.
I see them moving. Now, they're not doing I think what Beyonce and Rihanna have going for them is this innovation wrapped up in this overwhelming sense of I know I can, I believe I can, and this confidence. Like they don't seem to, we don't know what they do privately, but they don't seem to question themselves. It appears that once they make a decision, they just go all in.
Yeah.
And they both have a knack for dropping stuff and breaking the internet on a dime. And it's like, you got to think about like, what's the difference between success and sensation?
Yeah. And I wanted to like make it clear that Kelly is successful.
Extremely.
Carrie is, they're all successful. And I mean, I'm sure somebody will be like, yo, I like David, but he ain't no Rashad or Troy. he ain't no Neo. You know what I mean? Like, and they might be more successful or more, whatever, right? So everyone's successful in the right, but I think the point of what we're having a conversation about is there has to be more than one element. It has to be more than just being attractive. It has to be more than you can just sing, because there's a lot of people that can sing really, really good, but they don't have the other stuff. Or Chris Brown could be Michael Jackson right now, but there was a mistake throughout the career, right? Or like there's so many different elements that you need to have extreme levels of success, extreme levels. And maybe we just need to sit here and analyze what are all of the elements that it takes to be extremely successful. And it's for sure beyond talent.
Is it vision? Because you just mentioned Chris Brown had what it took to be the next Michael Jackson, but he had a major incident.
Yeah.
But let's think about Usher. I think he has what it takes too.
Yeah, I think he is that.
You think he's the Michael Jackson?
I think so.
You think so?
Yeah.
I can't say. I think I'm an Usher fan. I'm a Chris Brown fan. And I'm also a Michael Jackson fan. I think they are all three a dynamic trifecta of talent. But I don't think that Usher is yet Michael Jackson.
You know why I don't think Usher is yet Michael Jackson, now that you say it? Michael had an obsession. I think Usher is dedicated for sure. But it seems like back then, Mike wasn't doing it for like social media or all the other ways of it get exposed. Like I think he had a true obsession with the craft.
Literally one track mind.
One track mind.
Studying, surrounding himself with the greats. And you always saw him surrounding himself with the greats.
Yeah.
And I think that's a key that's missing in some of today's talent, also some of today's entrepreneurs. Like when I think about the Jim Rohns and the Bob Proctors and the Reverend Ikes and the Miles Monroes, and I think back to some of their teaching, they heavily leaned on to who mentored them. They heavily leaned on to the person. Like they had a mark, and Beyonce does too, Tina Turner, amongst one of the people, but they always had an ability to reference somebody that they were modeling after. Tina Turner had that effect. She had the Michael Jackson effect in her own right? A little different, but she had the Michael Jackson effect in her own right. When we're thinking about these other talented individuals, I guess maybe for Chris Brown, we know that Michael Jackson is his guy.
Yeah, for sure.
I believe it is for Usher too.
Yeah, 100%.
But were they obsessed?
Well, I don't know if, from a child, Michael was being driven, right? Which nowadays, you can't even put a child through that without the internet canceling you. And there's so many things that you got to consider when it comes to marketing and branding. I don't know if it was all that back in the day. I mean, marketing and branding has been around forever, but in terms of the personal brand and things you got to consider, Mike was just the craft. Like I'm going, I ain't got to worry about what lyrics I can and can't put in my song, who I need to consider, who I need to include. Like I can't say her too much or him too much. Like he ain't have to worry about all of that. He could just focus on the craft. And I think there's so many just different distractions today that won't allow someone to be as obsessed. It was just different back then. Like you think of activists back then, they were activists. That's my whole world. That's what I'm about. We are going to fight to the finish. But now, and there wasn't much else to consider other than the fight. You're going to have haters anywhere, but my point is, I think back then, it wasn't as much stuff to worry about or as much distractions, I think.
Yeah. I'm thinking about the difference between these mega successful, like I believe the word that I used earlier was sensation. The sensational versus the successful, right? And not to take anything away from people who have amassed a certain level of success, but we understand that there are some people who are just way set apart. And I know that we teach a lot like relationships and being in the rooms and all those things matter. But we don't really see Beyonce or Rihanna like out in the streets, rubbing elbows, mixing, mingling at all of the top events. Like they barely show up to award shows. They're barely in these rooms. Or are they just in rooms that are not on the internet?
I wonder what they be doing.
What do they be doing? Let me see. Can I Google that?
What they be doing?
What does Beyonce do with her time?
Yeah, bro. Yo, really? Success will put you in a cage. You know what I mean? I'm not saying like these people aren't happy, but there's a lot that comes with massive success. And to be massively successful, you have to have an obsession. And when you have like true obsession, that shows up in other areas of your life. Like Steve Jobs couldn't even really raise his kids right. Like he couldn't really show love to his children. He's so obsessed on building this thing, right? Michael Jordan, obsessed with the game of basketball. He had his challenges outside of somebody just said it in the chat. Michael Jackson, obsessed. He had his challenges outside of the dance floor. You know what I mean? So I don't know, bro. And I don't know. I don't know that I want to be that.
I think you go back and forth.
I do.
Sometimes you want to be it, and I've done it.
I never
too.
really want to be it. I want to be more successful, but I don't know if I want rock star stat. I know I don't want that.
You don't want to be a billionaire.
Stat. Not that I don't want to be a billionaire. I don't think I want to do what it takes to be a billionaire, but if I become a billionaire, that's what's up.
If I just happen to become one.
The obsession that it takes to build something massive. Like I think I'm on maybe like a 6 out of 10. I'm willing to do everything it takes.
A 6 out of 10.
I'm not willing to go 10 for 10.
No.
I'm willing to go 6 out of 10. Going hard. Maybe in a year I'll go 7.
Is it because you want some normalcy? Like you want to be there for your kids. You want to be able to go to the grocery store, pull up at the gym,
100%.
shoot basketballs.
You just said that weird, but yes.
But those are the things you want to do.
Yes, 100%.
Yeah. What fulfills you?
What fulfills me? Can you define fulfills?
Let's let the dictionary do that.
Let's do that. I need a true definition. Fulfillment.
Bring to completion or reality. Achieve or realize something desired, promised, or predicted. So to bring to completion, like when you feel fulfilled, you feel
accomplished,
you feel complete. Like, you know how I went through that journey 2 years ago where it's like, yeah, the success is here, the money is here, I bought my mom a condo, like all these things are happening, and I just didn't feel fulfilled. I still was feeling like I was going through motions. There wasn't that moment of like, okay, this is it.
I don't think that's attainable.
You don't think fulfillment is attainable? You don't think there will ever be a time where you sit back and say, wow, I did all those things and I feel amazing, versus you saying, wow, I did all those things and something's still missing?
I think something will always be missing, but I mean, I can look at some of the things and say, yo, I love that. I love that about myself. I was with my kids last night, and then I had to like leave out. But in that moment, I just get to play with them and like talk to them, and I feel good in this moment. But total fulfillment, I'm not 100% sure it's accomplishable, because I've been through accomplishing the goal over and over and over and over and over and over and over again, and there's always something.
Always a new goal.
There's always a new goal. There's always something about accomplishing the goal that didn't provide what I thought it was going to feel like. The dream is always perfect, but for full, like complete fulfillment, I don't see where that's possible.
So I think fulfillment is, maybe it's different for everyone, but I would like to think that fulfillment to me is having the lifestyle that I desire, feeling spiritually intact, like having an amazing spiritual relationship, being emotionally intelligent, meaning I process things well, the relationship that highlights the best version of me in terms of romantic relationship, but also the friends around me that highlight the best version of me, having the ability to pick up and go whenever and wherever I want to go. And a thriving business that operates off of integrity, but that's impacting the world. Also having a solid team in place to help carry the vision of what that looks like out. Like having people around me that I can trust, that highlight the best version of who I am and inspires me to continue to be that person. And I think that acts as a buffer to any of the negative things that happen, just kind of organically. And even when, like, I can think back to that time where I wasn't really feeling fulfilled, at that time, I can just think like to the overwhelming stress, like, yes, I had all of this success, but it was the overwhelming stress of how I had to make that happen day in and day out. Yeah. All of the decisions that I had to make by myself, all of the tasks that I had to carry out by myself, being afraid to pick up my phone because there's 25 text messages that everybody needs a response to urgently right now. Like, so at that time, that stage just didn't feel worth it, to me. Yeah. But you don't want to back off. Like, the goal was really what the financial goal was, but I knew that there could be an easier way. So I spent the next 12 months, like, we've got to simplify some things. I have to be able to breathe. I have to be able to look at my phone and not get anxious and overwhelmed and things like that. So you figure out these things that you need over time. I think that fulfillment is attainable.
Yo, what's up, Social Proof family? So I know you're watching a dope episode, and we'll get right back into it. But in the next 2 minutes, I want to teach you the number one mistake that's probably costing you over $10,000 in taxes. And then I'm going to teach you how to fix it. And at the end, I have a free gift for you. So let's get right into it. So the number one mistake that most people make, especially business owners, is they have the wrong entity set up. Like, guys, LLCs do not help you save on taxes. So let me give you what I call my entity timeline, so you can know when to have the best entity for you and how to save the most money on taxes, okay? So step one, before you have the business, I do want you to set up your LLC, but not for tax savings, for asset protection. So you can go to a free website like llcuniversity.com. It's gonna teach you how to set up your LLC 100% free. Now, you're gonna stay at LLC until your business makes over $40,000 in net income for the year. Once your business makes over $40,000 net income for the year, it's time for you to upgrade that LLC to a S corporation. S corporations actually help you save on taxes. How much so? Well, let's put it like this. If you had an LLC making $100,000 and I had an S corp making $100,000, you would pay over $10,000 more in taxes than I would because I have the proper entity. So once you make over $40,000 in net income, it's time for you to upgrade that LLC to an S corp, and then you're going to stay an S corp until you start making over $3 million in profit, and then it might make sense to upgrade to a C corp. But that's it, guys. LLC where you start the business, S corp where you make it over 40K, C corp after $3 million in profit. If you want a free guide on this, I'm going to give you my tax-free ebook, 100% free, and I'm going to be teaching a class breaking the ebook down for you. All this 100% free, but it's only for my social proof family. So all you have to do is text the word proof to 312-847-2309. That's proof to 312-847-2309. Now let's get back to the episode.
Yeah, I don't know. I think there's definitely periods. Like I'm looking at this definition, it says fulfillment is a feeling of happiness and satisfaction. It's also the completion of something. And I think the completion of something is like I fulfilled this part. So you had your mission of, going 40 something days in the gym.
42.
42 days in the gym. You're going to accomplish that. And I fulfilled that part of my life, that requirement, right? But there is never, I think there are moments of satisfaction and happiness and feelings of fulfillment, but I don't think in this life it can ever last because there's always something to fight against. Like I was playing with my kids yesterday. Today my wife texted me, both of my kids got strep throat. Like it's like, God.
Is that what she wanted you to call her for?
Yeah.
Again, they just had strep throat.
Kids always sick.
Yeah.
And like I love them, and like we have these fulfilling moments, and me and my wife were having amazing moments, and it's exactly how I pictured life being married. And then there's a disagreement or something that just doesn't feel good, right? Mm-hmm. And that's going to be in every single relationship, every single business. You could be up today, and I don't know any business that is just up and it's just amazing every day and there isn't any issues. There are multi-billion-dollar companies that are going bankrupt. Like at what point, I mean, you could have levels of fulfillment and moments of fulfillment. This is why I think it's vitally important that you have some sort of spiritual relationship, because this world is not going to give you an unexplainable joy day after day. It just isn't possible.
Not day after day, but there certainly are moments.
Yeah, for sure. Absolutely.
Of just inexplainable joy. And that's the word, by the way.
Unexplainable.
Okay. There are certainly those moments and those days of fulfillment, but I think that fulfillment feels fleeting for you because you're growing every day. You're growing. Why are you Googling?
Because I'm just not sure that inexplainable. It is a word, but
It for sure is a word.
So is unexplainable.
Unexplainable became a word because of common use, but the word used to be just inexplainable.
Proceed.
Okay. There are so many words in the dictionary now that became a word because if y'all are just gonna keep using it anyway.
What about skirt?
Skirt. That'll be there soon. Just like bootylicious. But anyway.
Bootylicious, yeah.
Bootylicious is a word. What word? For shizzle? For shizzle, my nizzle. That's in the dictionary? No way.
Bootylicious is in the dictionary.
Bootylicious is for sure in the dictionary.
Slang, sexually attractive, especially with curvaceous buttocks.
Oh, with curvaceous buttocks. Shout out to Beyonce and Kelly and Michelle.
Yes, all of them.
All of them for being bootylicious.
Yes.
And creating the term. You get off track so quickly.
No, you're off track.
No, I'm not.
Okay, go ahead. Get back on track.
I am. So I think that there are windows in which you're being fulfilled, but I also don't believe that there's much wrong with feeling like you're not fulfilled as long as there are small windows where you absolutely feel that. Because if we're growing as people, then what we want and what we need to fulfill us should also be growing. It gets bigger. And then sometimes it gets simpler. Like things that used to fulfill you as you get older and you have different experiences, you develop a much more simplified lifestyle. And the same things don't fulfill you anymore. It could just be as long as I get to have quiet time after a long day to read a book and have dinner across the table for my family. I Googled what makes people fulfilled or feel fulfilled. 71% of people said having the job or career they enjoy leads to fulfillment for them. 61% of people said having close friends is fulfilling to them. And 26% of people said having children fulfills them.
Yeah, but those are talking about specific areas of your life. So they're saying, oh, having a job, I feel fulfilled. But then you go home to an abusive relationship. Do you feel fulfilled totally?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Or you have the career, you're making all the money, but you're single and you desire to have that part of your life. Are you fulfilled? There might be fulfillment in certain areas, is what I'm saying.
Yeah.
And I think we should aspire to keep going after the feeling of fulfillment.
Yeah.
Right? Because, you know, certain parts of our life get better, but there will always, and this is, maybe it's a negative mindset, but my thought process is always, I don't want to get caught by surprise.
By what?
By negative things that happen. That's why my whole life is kind of like even keel. Like I don't fall into deep depressions because I know this is a part of what happens in life. When something goes up, in the last 39 years I've experienced it, something goes up, something weird happens. But every time something weird happens, something else is right around the corner. Some blessing, some feeling of fulfillment is right around the corner. So that's why I don't fall into depression. It's coming. Whatever you don't have right now, it's coming.
I don't know if I desire to live in a state of expectancy of the negative things. Now, I live in the reality that negative things happen, but it would almost frighten me to have wonderful things happen if I felt an expectation that just because of that, something negative will happen right after.
Well, I don't know if it's right after. And it's not like I can't wait for something bad to happen, but the fact that it's almost like you, like in the streets, when you go to jail, it's like, they got me. I understood the risk. It's not like they picked you up by surprise. Like, hold on, I'm spending the rest of my life in jail. No, hold on, what happened? It's like, I knew something was gonna happen, and it happened. So I don't live in expecting something negative, but I can't stomach it.
Yeah, I think there's an element though of you maybe even manifesting that something negative will happen because you believe it. Like a part of manifestation is your how deeply you believe in an idea, and if that is your belief, then it's going to be true.
But just because you don't think about it, that doesn't inoculate you from.
Well, it's not just thinking about it; it's deeply believing. So that's different. I think about a lot of things that I may or may not believe in, and I believe in a lot of things that I don't regularly or routinely think about.
Well, I get your point, but I don't think, so the way, I'm giving everybody my thought process, right? The way I think doesn't attract more negative stuff to me than it does to somebody who isn't thinking the way I'm thinking. I'm not sure that because people are manifesting only good things and they only think positive, that less negative things happen to them than me. I just don't believe that.
I want to give people, to round out this conversation around fulfillment, the source that I'm reading from is forward.com, fwd.com.ph. This is what experts and studies say about knowing if you are living a fulfilled and vibrant life. And I'm just going to read this so you can ask yourself, because somebody is like, am I fulfilled? What does that even look like? And 5 signs. Number 1.
Do you put your feet on the furniture at home?
These shoes have never been worn. Okay. And you know that. And the shoes were actually just up here per your request. Shout out though, while we're here, to Celebrity 409 for the hardest. Wait, did I kick you? Okay.
Celebrity 409.
Do the middle one. Shout out to Celebrity. Put your shoe up.
He also gave me this one.
Shout out to Celebrity 409, SOLEBRITY. He is the official
Is this the thumbnail?
sneaker plug of the Social Proof Podcast.
Nah, don't hold your leg. Nah, like this, I'm straight forward.
Look at how high my leg is.
Come on, step your game up.
And I was in the gym this morning.
Can't go that high.
All right.
Proceed.
So,
Celebrity 409. Make sure y'all get y'all sneakers. The official Social Proof sneaker plug.
okay. So 5 signs. The first one, you have close, meaningful relationships. Do you have close, meaningful relationships?
Absolutely.
Okay. Number 2.
Hold on, this is a sign that you're fulfilled.
You are living a fulfilled, vibrant life.
Okay.
If these 5 things are in place.
Ooh, all right, let's do it.
This is just
who wrote it?
I cited the source.
Let me not be pessimistic.
I cited the source.
Because I can for sure argue. You know what I mean?
Well, we can argue it, but I want to if we're talking about fulfillment and not feeling it or feeling it,
yes.
I want our audience to be able to ask themselves, am I fulfilled? What does that even look like?
For
right?
sure. And I actually have ran like 10 random steps that I came up on a random Google search from a random person that put together 10 steps towards a more fulfilling life, but these are good. So we're going to read them.
Okay. So let's first identify if we are, and then if we're not, then let's go through this list.
Let's do it.
Okay.
Okay. So close, meaningful relationships.
You have close, meaningful relationships. Okay. Number 2, you have a sense of purpose. And this is where most people lose it. You have a sense of purpose.
That's good.
Many people, and I would argue that most people don't know what their purpose to do.
Yeah. Let's talk about purpose for a second. Is purpose something that you are destined from the beginning of time to do, or do you look at purpose as something that you've purposed in your heart to accomplish? Like there's a mission in this world.
So that's a tricky one. I think that the thing that we've purposed in our hearts to do, like that we've made the decision to do, I think that's more passion. Like I'm really, really passionate about this thing and I love it. I'm connected to it. It's a heartstring and I want to do this in my lifetime. But I do believe that purpose is assigned.
Okay.
And we have a life path or a life experience and I believe that your purpose is that thing that you can't run from. So you don't really get to choose it. It's like, it's here. This is what it is. And it keeps coming back. Every single time you want to move away from it, it keeps coming back and it shows up in different forms. And it grows. I think that purpose is ever evolving, like it grows. But even when you communicate verbally, your purpose is different. If you really sit down and think about it, you'll always be able to connect the dots between how you communicate your purpose versus how you were communicating your purpose. So I think you're born. I think it's assigned. Gotcha.
Okay.
What do you think?
I think we can create our own path. You know, it's just my opinion. I don't know if God cares what we do professionally or as a career.
Right. I agree.
You know what I mean? So I think, I think some people use that as an excuse to say, I haven't found my purpose. To get out there and get passionate about something, find what you like, get in the streets. They're waiting for some sort of sign.
Yeah.
And I think more people need to just go after something. Like the fact that we haven't found what we're purposed to do isn't anyone's fault but our own for not searching. And most people aren't looking for it. I'm looking for the thing that I like, right? I want my daughter to start stuff and stop stuff. And now I'm passionate about getting in movies, and now I'm passionate about animals, and now I want to create content. Do all that stuff, because eventually, this just shows that she's searching.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Eventually, you'll find something that says, "Yup, this makes me feel fulfilled."
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. And to your point, I don't believe that purpose is a career. Mm-hmm. Like it's not as simple as what you choose to do for a career, mm-hmm. but I think that your career plays a role in your purpose. Okay. So when you have your purpose, I believe that I believe that we're all purposed to show the goodness, grace, and mercy of God. I think mm-hmm. that's what our purpose is, mm-hmm. all of us. Yeah. But we choose to demonstrate that differently. You and I choose to demonstrate it through our pursuit of entrepreneurship and being an example of how we went from this to this because of this path. Yeah. Entrepreneurship is a passion, and we're leveraging our passions, in our case, to pursue our purpose, right? Mm. Blessed tremendously. Even when there are tough lessons being learned, how we survive it, how we keep going, how we continue to have faith, and demonstrating that day in and day out, I believe is what drives us to our purpose.
Yeah, that's mm-hmm. good. No, yeah. I was just saying that's good.
So that leads me to number 3, you pursue your passion. Okay. And all of your passion isn't purposeful.
For sure.
Yeah, not all of your passion is purposeful.
What are you passionate about?
Oh my gosh, I am passionate about quite a few things. I am passionate about the well-being of elderly people and children. Mm. I am passionate about having a strong community, a strong support and accountability community around you. I am passionate about my family. I am passionate about entrepreneurship. And I'm also highly passionate about strategy, like studying strategy, how things work, like understanding the inner workings of how things work. I have a passion for things like that. And I used to say that I had this big passion for fashion and all that, and I probably still do. It's just kind of evolved into what that looks like differently. But I have a passion for so much. I also have a passion about serving and giving back. Okay. Like I'm deeply connected to serving and giving back in a way that doesn't have to be highlighted. And my mom just told me, in fact, a week or so ago, she was with me when I offered a gesture to someone, and she says, you never show this stuff that you do behind the scenes. And I'm like, well, it's not really for show. And as we were driving down the street after that happened, the video of the college student who had the exchange with the homeless gentleman. Did you see that? Mm-mm. She was filming for TikTok. She's like, an influencer or wanting to be an influencer. And she's filming for TikTok. And he's in the background and he's like, can you buy me a cup of tea? And she's like, are you talking to me? And he's like, yeah, can you just get me a cup of tea? And she could tell that this man was like going through it. He is homeless. It's cold outside. He's not moving well. And she's like, okay, yeah, I'll get you some tea. What tea do you want? And she's like, there's a Trader Joe's up there. Walk with me here. So she gets to the Trader Joe's, the two of them, and she gets him his tea, but he's moving really, really slow. And she starts to have a conversation with him and ask him, what's going on? What's wrong? Are you in pain? And he's like, yeah, but I don't have money to get my prescription. So he is unable to walk to the next store. Like I think it was Walgreens. She walks down to the Walgreens, gets his prescription filled. He really did have a waiting prescription. Gets his prescription filled, finds out that he has colon cancer. Mm. And he's pushing this shopping cart through the city with all of his things in it. And she had her little travel bag that she had while she was out filming this content. She was just out there trying to get some content. And she's literally like on her phone and the guy is in the background. So she's now doing this whole thing. And you've got these comments of people like, why didn't you get off live? And, and she was literally just living her life. They end up walking and she says, I just found out that he has colon cancer. He's in pain. So she's calling him Unc. And she said, you know what, Unc, I'm not done with you. This is a college student. She says, I'm not done here. I am going to get you a hotel room for the night. They got food. She takes him to get a hotel room. She puts him in a hotel room. She actually took him to Target and they went and got some stuff. And she's like, get what you need, Unc, get what you need. And then she took him to the hotel, and she wasn't afraid. You could tell, like, she had a passion for this. Like, this was a heartstring, because a normal woman, rightfully so, would have been afraid to enter a hotel room.
Yeah.
But she goes into this hotel room with him, and she's just talking to him and spending time. And he's so thankful. And he thanked her most for, he was so proud of the fact that they had hung out for like 6 hours that day. She was with him for like 6 hours. And she gave him a stack of money, all the money she had left. And she said, get you some food, get you a shower, just make sure you're checked out by 11. And she comes back to her TikTok to finish this video, and she says, y'all, we got to do something for him. And she ended up that day raising like $185,000, right? But get this, a couple days later, she checks the GoFundMe, and it's at like $380,000. At the time that she was on this TikTok talking about the 380 something thousand, it had gone up to over $500,000.
What? Wow.
Over $500,000. And, you know, my mom was telling me, like, sometimes it's necessary. Sometimes people need to see it. Like, think about the people you could influence because of what you saw.
There's a lot of things you can do with $500. I mean, you can have a night out with your significant other. You could buy some really expensive shoes. Well, really nice shoes are about double $500. You could buy a course where you can learn something for $500. But I have something better for you to do with the $500. I want to meet with you every single morning for the rest of your life. Well, maybe not the rest of your life, but every morning, Monday through Friday, for the rest of the year. I have information and game that have allowed me to build a successful business, a successful community, and a successful life all the way around. But I want to share that with you. But the only way we can accomplish this is not me selling you a course, not me giving you a one-on-one consultation, because even with that, you'll get the information, but you'll need more. I want to meet with you every single morning. Now, would I meet with someone every morning for $500 for a year? And the answer is yes. Actually, we've been doing this thing since 2017. We have what's called the Morning Meetup. Every single month, we have a theme, whether it's social media, whether it's motivation, whether it's strategy, whatever it is, we have a theme for the month, and every morning in that month, we have a conversation around that topic. And I am giving a wealth of knowledge, not only myself, but a lot of friends, a lot of people that you see on this podcast, they join every single week. So you need a community of people that you can grow with, and you need a coach. I'm your coach. The Morning Meetup is your community. Go to themorningmeetup.com. It's $499, and I will meet you every single morning for an entire year. Give it a shot. Wow.
Right? Think about the people you could influence. And in that particular case, Deja, my daughter, is very fond of this homeless gentleman who often hangs out right outside of our home in the area. And she's fond of him because he has this dog, and she has like this serious connection to animals. And this dog, female dog, is a pit bull, and her breasts hang low as if she had just had children. And so every chance she gets, she's always trying to do something. So we had an event here in this building where we'd ordered all this pizza just last week or something like that. And there was pizza left over, and Deja was taking, it was after our event. Deja took the pizza to take to him, but she couldn't find him. So the pizza's at home, and the next day I'm driving down the street with my mom, and I see him. And I pull over and I said, hey, did my daughter make it to you to give you this pizza? And he's like, no, ma'am. And I said, you know what? Okay. So I called Deja and I was like, hey, he's outside, bring him the pizza. And then I'm like, on second thought, forget that day old pizza. And I went to the grocery store and I got him all kinds of stuff, and like, you know, not only got him the stuff, but got him the stuff to carry it in. And I know that he sleeps under a bridge, so I got him a chair, and I got him some Tylenol, like some pain pills, because I know your body got, like, sometimes maybe you get a headache. Nobody buys you medicine and stuff. And then I got dog bowls and, you know, things that he could connect to his pants, like being real thoughtful. And my mom is like, sometimes people just need to see that, because you never know who that gesture will influence to go out and do it.
100%.
Yeah.
100%.
Yeah.
Dang.
And so that's something like elderly, children, and homeless, I'm deeply, deeply connected to.
Man. And so you're so right, because as you're telling the story, I'm thinking in my head, dang, what can I do? Like the next time I see a homeless person, that rings in my head.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's like, yo, I want to do something too. So it's not always
for show.
Yeah. Right?
Yeah. In that moment, it was, what can I do to just I'm super passionate about making people happy, like giving them a moment in which they feel special, right? And so in that case, I know that, okay, typically somebody's going to give them a bottle of water, give them some food, maybe some food that they ate. He's got this dog. The dog ended up not having just had birth, or gave birth. It was abused, badly bred, and it was abused. And so it had some kind of body deformation. And so I'm like, I bet this dog hasn't had treats in forever. So I got him 2 bags of dog treats, and I got him his own bottled water so he's not getting rainwater off the side of the road. And I got him some fruit and some candy and some actual, like the Publix fried chicken and the good stuff. Like, he was so excited about the Tylenol and the chair. He's like, ma'am, I don't know. He's like, have I told you about my pain before? And I said, no. He said, I sleep under that bridge. I have nothing soft to lay on because you can't carry all that stuff. I got him a chair that he can carry on his back, like the stadium chair. It's the strap that you can carry. He's like, just having this chair and the ability to sit down on something other than the hard concrete for a couple of hours a day is going to improve the quality of my life. That did something to me, and immediately it makes me think, how can I do more of this? More of this, more of this, more of this. Those are the things that give me fulfillment. Like if I could work and figure out a business model that would allow me to freely give, and I'm talking about even outside of the 501c3, just Donni Wiggins as a human, taking what's in her pocket, taking what brings her joy and giving it to somebody who could benefit more. Like that's something that I'm super passionate about.
I love that, man. I absolutely love that. And I think even when you do something like that, and I know where your brain goes is like, all right, yo, that chair means a lot to this man.
That chair means a lot.
I feel fulfilled, but the more you drive, the more people you see under a bridge, and you're like,
heartbreak. The
problem is so big. And for me to feel fulfilled, like once you start doing this work, it's like, bro, the problem gets bigger and bigger, and I want more and more, which is one of the reasons I'm saying it's hard to find fulfillment, because especially if you're doing something for other people, there are people out here hurting.
And I get that. That's a really valid point. Golly. Because you do. Even in that moment, he was standing in a median at the red light. At the very next red light, which you could see from where we were, another homeless man. But he wasn't there when I went to go get the groceries. So I had nothing to give him, nothing tangible in my hands to give him. All I could say was, I'll be back. I'll be back. But I felt like, oh man, I just gave this guy all this stuff and I didn't see him until I drove up to the light. So in that moment, I felt so good and so fulfilled because of the joy that it brought him, the relief. But within seconds,
a moment later,
it was like, Jesus Christ.
Yeah, there's so much we need to do. And we need more people like you in this world. And we need more people, like the people that's listening to this, that feel something. We need more people like you. You know what I mean? Like people that when you see it, or when they see it, they're like, I'm going to go out and do something else. So I've always had reservations of doing things on camera, and I don't, because I'm always like, I don't want people to think I'm doing it because of the camera.
Yeah.
But I'm realizing how selfish that is, because now I'm comforted knowing that I did something good for someone, but nobody else can experience it. Nobody else can be inspired by it. And I don't post it for the fear of what someone else is going to think about me.
And I think you should have a perspective shift. Like, of course, there will be some people who say he's doing it for the cameras, but there are people who think you do the podcast for the cameras, and that you do, the hot seat for the cameras and all these things, right?
The podcast for the cameras.
You do the podcast for the cameras, but think about the people. You do it for the impact.
Yeah, for sure.
And think about, like, I think sometimes you discount how impactful you are. And we have to start paying more attention or basing our decisions more off of the people that we impact than the people that we offend. Like, I can't do anything for the people that we offend. There's just nothing I can do. I can't make you like me. I can't offend you any less. In fact, if you let me know that I offend you, I'm probably going to offend you some more on purpose. Because that offense to me is like a battery in my back, because I know the little thing that you're offended by, there's so many other people who are impacted by it.
For sure, 100%. Yo, you know what like was super impressive for me? So the whole Keith Lee thing, I was going around when my wife, I didn't know who he was, but like this maybe a month and a half maybe ago that my wife shared with me who Keith Lee was. And it wasn't about the food reviews and none of that. It was the fact that this man has the power to go into an establishment and change their lives.
Change it. To take a deprived, barely in business establishment and then have them sell out of inventory day after day, lines wrapped around the corner. Instagram following goes from 150 people to 30,000 people, literally based off one interaction.
Who has that type of power?
Off of one interaction. And there are still people who speak negatively about, he still offends a large group of people.
100%.
You think he rolling around worried about the people that he offends? He's still going to pull up and still going to do these food reviews on camera. And he's still going to give his honest advice, and he's still going to help who he wants to help. There will always be somebody who you don't help people the way they would have done it. Okay,
For sure.
well, there's nothing I can do about that. If you want to go and help people offline and off camera, do that.
Yeah.
But don't stop the David Shans or the Donni Wiggins from showcasing it, because we understand that if I raise my foot and say Celebrity 409 provides these dope shoes and I make a big enough deal about it, somebody's going to go and buy those sneakers.
100%.
So if I make a big enough deal about a kind gesture to another human life, I know that I am impactful enough for somebody else to go and do it. I make a post on Instagram every single day. It's just a gratitude post. Every single day I start my day off with some random picture and my post says grateful. I get tagged every single day now in people just picking up that because they're inspired to do something. Yeah. I see how she's living. I want to live that way too. Let me try to implement this piece of what her activity into my life. Is easy to do. It's also easy to just give somebody some water. But if nobody sees that we prioritize that and we care about that, if I don't show that, which I haven't, but I understood what my mom was saying, if I don't show that, then you think that I'm working this hard for nice cars and homes, and that's where you think my priorities are. You don't see the equal balance, and if you like my transparency, then like it all.
Yeah, 100%. I like that. Where are we at? 3? We're 4.
Yep, we are. 4 now. We were at passion. Let me see.
I don't want to get your idea about something that I posted, but we'll get through the 5.
Okay, these are easy. We'll get to it. Number 4, you give back to the community.
Yep, there we go. Okay, we went through that.
You give back to the community. We give through that. And number 5, your mind is at peace.
And let's not even breeze over giving back to the community, because we've got to define what the community is for you. There's a million communities, right? You can give back to the Black community, you can give to the homeless community, but some people, they feel really passionate about single fathers. And I think that's a part of the journey of finding what really drives you. Who is this group of people that truly, truly drive you? Single mothers have a soft spot in my heart, because I know how hard it is for my wife, and she's not a single mother. I couldn't even imagine someone raising like my kids by themselves and still got to go to work and stuff. I'm like, yo, how do you do it? You are truly superheroes. So I want to give like all my single mothers their flowers today. You are a superhero, and whatever that dream is that you have, that life you want to live, if you've survived being a single parent, you can accomplish that little goal that you got. It's not that big. You've done way more. You are a superhero. So I think we got to find out what's the thing that drives you. Donnie's story of helping homeless people, yes, it's nice, but that might not be the thing that really pulls you. You got to find whatever it is for you. Mine's is teaching kids entrepreneurship or like giving them a chance to reframe how they think. That's my thing, right? So everybody's going to have their different thing, but I think it's important to find it.
I think it's important to find it. All right. Your mind is at peace. That's the fifth one.
How you do that?
Your mind is at peace. And that's when I lacked fulfillment 2 years ago, when I could say it clearly out of my mouth. This sums up exactly what I was feeling. My mind was just not at ease. You're always thinking, like you're going through these motions of I got to do everything by myself. I got to think of everything. I got this going on and that going on and the other thing going on. And what if this doesn't work again? What if we can't do it again? Like there was so much just going through your mind. How do you get your mind at peace?
You're asking the wrong person. I have no idea. You asking the wrong person. I don't know.
Yeah. There are definitely significant amounts of time that my mind is for sure at peace. Like things are just going well. I feel good. I'm clear. I have my vision. I got goals to support the vision. I know what we're doing every single day. I know what's happening in the company. I know what's happening around me. My loved ones are good. My friends and family, everybody's good. I have significant amounts of time. But there are also those moments where I wake up in the middle of the night and I just don't, like, there's something going on. I can't sleep. My mind isn't at ease. I don't know. That's a challenging one. And again, because we're talking about fulfillment also being an ever-growing thing, these are all things you go through seasons of all 5 of these things.
Yeah. I think we play basketball every Sunday. I think my mind is at ease. So funny.
Even when you're losing?
I don't lose, so.
Please, I see the clips.
But yeah, so I think in this
Skated right over
period
that one.
of time, in this period of time, while I'm playing basketball with my friends, I'm not thinking about business. I'm not thinking about hardship. I'm not thinking about anything other than playing basketball. So that's a time where my mind is at ease from all of the pressure of, okay, the kids are sick and my wife is going through this and my brother needs that and the building and the business. And I'm not thinking about Kay and Zell and Reese and who's going to be where and what we need to do. I'm not thinking about none of that stuff. It's a period of time. So I think finding your thing, or when I'm playing Monopoly, I love it. I think it's important to find. Maybe I need to sit down and really find all of the periods of time where my mind is at ease and be intentional about that.
About creating those moments over and as much as possible. How often do you get out to play basketball?
Every Sunday.
Every Sunday you go? Okay.
Yep, right. Sunday at 9:00.
Okay.
I like it. Okay.
I like it.
All right. I made something and I just want to hear your thoughts. Are you ready?
Did you just make it?
No, this is the other day. It says, and it was late night and I was just understanding how the world works and how things happen.
Do you feel like you have a good understanding of how the world works?
Yeah.
Okay.
Absolutely. Tell me if I'm wrong.
Okay, I'm listening.
I predict that someone will be attacking me over the next 5 months. Podcast Summit is getting too big and too popular for hate not to exist.
Did someone attack you?
Nope.
I saw that post.
Not yet.
It grinds my gears when you say that.
Can I give you my my caption? Nothing monumental goes unhated upon. Socrates. I don't know if he really said that. Nothing monumental goes unhated upon. Socrates is a Socrates quote. I can't tell you the reason they're going to come up with to stop this movement, but I can almost guarantee it will happen. Someone's coming. I think people expect to be loved when they're doing good deeds. Not me. I expect the exact opposite, mixed with the fact that Cat has ignited a movement. The attack is inevitable. Am I being pessimistic?
For sure.
Okay.
For sure. Bring me, not
Someone
those.
says you just manifested it though.
Yep. That's exactly what happened.
I suppose. Or it can happen without manifesting it and it just happens. You feel me? That's what I don't get about that. You know what I mean? So if you're not manifesting weird things going on in your life and weird things going on, you didn't manifest it, it just happened?
No. Weird things are gonna go on.
I'm not fat. I don't want no fruit snacks. Give me
You
one
literally
one.
eat these every day.
I don't need both. I only need one.
Okay. I'm just gonna sit this one here.
It's just unprofessional to be there. So
Because,
you feel me?
Yeah. So I think that you are absolutely manifesting this. And here's the thing. Because most people are trained to expect the worst, right? And to not see the light at the end of the tunnel. They're not consciously manifesting things, but they are. The things that you believe deeply, you are drawing closer and closer and closer to you. Now, do negative things happen, bad things happen, sicknesses happen, deaths happen, those things happen. Some of those things, though, we just have to call the natural progression or regression of life. But the nuances in between that are happening, there are a lot of positive and negative things that are happening specifically because of what you're thinking and believing every single day. You're drawing that energy to you. And the form in which it comes to you is what the variable is. But if you're a person, think about it. We all know somebody who's just, we can't talk to them because they're always just so negative. It's just negative, 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 negative. And they never have anything good going for themselves. Life is always bad. The car is always not working. The tire is always flat. The job is always in between. And you say, like, because you're so dang on negative, like, if you just for 1 second just stop being so negative, maybe you could get some good things happening to you. And then you have the person who's just always so bubbly and positive, and more good things continue to happen to them. And so I have a girlfriend who recently went through a divorce, and she's one of the most positive people that I know, right? And we talked about this, and she's like, I'm just always so positive. How could this happen to me and I end up in a divorce? And I'm like, well, the thing is, you can't manifest for other people. And while she's always so positive, her husband is not. And she just happened to reap the detriment of what he was manifesting for himself. Yep. You're in this equation. And when other people are involved and they have their own free thought processes and their own belief systems, just because you're believing really big doesn't mean that you can influence their outcome.
I agree with that. But still, for the people who go through stuff that's not manifesting it, it's just unfair. So I can tell some people that I have an expectation based on my lived experiences. What are you doing?
I just need to open this.
Just open it. And don't open it that way. Open it to where it slides out the middle. Here, give it to me. Because you're going to like...
that's exactly how I was about to open it.
You're about to bite it and rip the half of it off. That keeps it locked in.
I have to take the whole thing out now.
No, go back. Hey, Zell, catch her mid-bite if you can. Okay. So my lived experiences say, any time things get amazing, there's something weird that's going to happen. It just happens. Not immediately, not all the time, but it's just life for what I've experienced. I don't think I'm wanting it to come into my life, but the way I look at things allow me not to be taken off guard or taken aback. This is the stuff that I think there's some people like, yo, I manifested everything and I'm meditating every morning and the things keep happening and I've done my best to prevent these things from happening. And it doesn't happen, which means I'm powerless in this situation. My meditation isn't working. I'm saying up front, I can expect things. I'm not blindsided by things that happen to me that I would rather.
But what are
not.
you blocking?
What do you mean?
What are you blocking?
I'm blocking
with that level
depression.
of expectation. Yeah, you think you are.
I am.
You think you are.
I think I am.
But we've all seen we all see the evidence of how things will have the balloon effect. Like you just keep blowing until you blow so big that it pops, right? With the mindset of expecting the negative thing to happen, you have to think about how many positive outcomes you've blocked because you're just not allowing them to come through because it's like, oh yeah, something good. Oh, gotta be a negative coming up front. And
no. I don't think I'm looking for the negative.
But you're expecting it.
I'm expecting it.
When you're expecting it, you are looking for it.
No, it's like
it's like you're waiting for it to happen. So as soon as it happens, you can say, knew that was coming.
Yeah, if you're in a fight with a boxer, you have to expect that they're going to hit you with a haymaker.
Do you ever expect the positive stuff?
Yeah. I know I'm going to win, period. So when things are negative happening, I know that something amazing is about to happen. I know it. It doesn't rain forever, but the sun doesn't shine forever either.
Those things are true, but there's a difference between acknowledging something is happening, knowing that things happen, and expecting it.
Yeah, I'm preparing myself for it.
Okay.
I am. So I just remember being caught off guard. If you say positivity, you think positivity, then you'll have a positive life, and that's just not true. Like maybe I got the spark of the thought process from Jim Rohn. Jim Rohn said, sometimes we have to affirm the truth.
Yes.
All affirmations can't just be, oh, these are going to be happy and everything's going to work out amazing and nothing's ever going to be. We have to affirm the truth. He said, sometimes we have to affirm I'm broke. I have to affirm my mindset is rotten right now. I just have to affirm I'm not taking accountability. You just have to affirm. Stinking thinking, I get it.
Stinking thinking.
But you got to affirm that. You have to know what's going on.
So here's the thing.
So actually, if you think about it, no, you can't really tell me that if somebody has this mindset and it's always negative for them, they haven't accomplished much in their life and they just feel a sense of like life is just going down the drain. I can understand. They need to stop thinking like that. But I've accomplished some really cool stuff. I have a really cool situation going on.
Yeah.
So it's not that I'm one of the people that's like everything negative happened, nothing that my mindset is causing me to fail.
I understand, but you also have to be one of those people that stop thinking that just because you think positively, those things are supposed to happen. And that's not what manifestation is. Just thinking it is not the total formula. And we've talked about this so many times.
But there's so many different versions of manifestation and everybody's different thought process of manifestation. Purpose isn't a career, right? Right. But when you talk to entrepreneurs and they say, well, I haven't found my purpose, what are they talking about?
Their career.
That's
because somebody has miseducated them.
There's no factual definition, I don't think.
Well, we just looked at it.
Well, the dictionary is decided by a bunch of people in a room. That's not their reality. And that's not their reality in the world of what is manifestation. So let's look up the definition of manifestation. Manifestation.
Don't let the words.
An event, action, or object that clearly shows or embodies something, especially a theory or an abstract idea. So now this is calling manifestation a theory or just some abstract idea. That's the definition of it, right? Yes, that's what you got?
I'm looking at what the Bible says about fulfillment.
Manifestation is just it's a stupid.
I'm not going there with you today. I cannot in this episode.
The definition of it. And then somebody else defines it as, so that was dictionary.com. This is vocabulary.com. It says a manifestation is the public display of emotion or feeling or something theoretical made real.
Okay, so
what are we believing?
Here's what God says about a person's greatest fulfillment. I want to read that. What are you reading? Okay, let me go.
Read what you want to read.
Let me read something different.
Read the first one. Stop looking for your answer, bro.
No. I'm looking at all the different stuff. So Proverbs 13:12 says, hope deferred makes the heart sick, but a desire fulfilled is a tree of life. That's one. But I'm looking down here. It says, what does God say about a person's greatest fulfillment? Giving ourselves in obedience to God's word, Acts 2:38, and serving him faithfully every day, Mark 13:13, will not only give us the greatest fulfillment for our lives, but it gives us hope of eternal life as well. Revelation 2:10.
What does that have to do with manifestation?
I'm off of manifestation.
Oh, so we're back on what?
We're on fulfillment. We
back on fulfillment? We on the same page with that. We were just talking about manifestation. Yeah, fulfillment for sure.
Okay.
Yeah. We're good now. Get her, Zal. Come on, man. Golly, keep it there. Stay focused. Okay. So we're on the same page.
Semi.
Manifestation, it has some dumb descriptions. Am I right, though? Am I right? Think about it. Like, come on. Look at all these. The action or fact of showing an abstract idea. Why are they calling it an abstract idea?
Okay.
A symptom or sign of an ailment.
Manifest.
What?
Manifest. You be choosing to read
what dictionary.com,
you want.
Merriam-Webster,
okay,
vocabulary.
So in Merriam-Webster, I'm seeing to make evident or certain. To make evident or certain by showing or displaying. Manifest.
What?
To make evident or certain by showing or displaying. To make it evident or certain by showing or displaying. Also, dictionary.
To make, no, let's stay there.
Clear or obvious to the eye or mind. Means that I see it so much. This is evident to me. I believe in it so wholeheartedly. I'm thinking on ideas, not just thinking positively or negatively for that matter, but I'm thinking on ideas and thought processes that I deeply believe in. I deeply believe in it so much that I can see it. I can taste it if that applies. I can smell it if that applies. And you can manifest on this thought, this idea over and over and over again. And you'll look around and you'll have these things that you've had these deep thoughts on about these things that you deeply believe in. And that's just the beginning.
Donni, you're giving your definition of manifestation.
No, I'm literally.
No.
No, I'm giving
the definition says to make evident or certain by showing or displaying. And then you have to come up with some sort of
because you're making it happen by imagining it, and then it consciously happens in real life.
That's not what this definition says.
So then how else do you make it evident by showing or displaying? You can't display it or showcase it in your mind first? Thank you.
I am making this pack of fruit snacks evident or certain by showing or displaying these fruit snacks.
Mm-hmm. Were you hungry?
Does that have to do
Were
with
you hungry at all throughout this broadcast?
No, I wasn't. I didn't manifest these fruit snacks.
I believe you did.
That's why, listen, man. It's so silly, bro. Like, I know I'm going against the manifestation community. I get it.
I don't have the energy to go there with you today, but you guys can check out. We're 470 or something, 423 episodes in. You can check out 35 of the other episodes where we go deep into debating about manifestation and meditation.
And look, everybody in the chat is going to have their own definition of manifestation of what it means to make evident or make real or... You gotta, Donni, you gotta be honest.
Now you didn't want to heavily rely on dictionary because it was something that was generated by some group of people.
That's what I'm saying. It's so arbitrary. There's definitions everywhere and they're different definitions from different sources.
No, these are all saying the same thing.
No,
you
they're
just don't
not.
want to see it. You're a person who is so focused on not believing the truth.
Oh, I gotta manifest.
You're
I gotta get
so
my manifestation on.
he's so focused on not believing the truth.
I'm not believing. What truth?
Any truth.
About manifestation?
Manifestation, meditate. You think it's all silly.
You don't think scientific enough, Dave.
He doesn't understand how to tap into his own frequencies, how to shift his energy.
Mm-hmm.
He doesn't understand any of that. He literally manifested his financial success live on a Social Proof podcast episode and can't seem to connect the dots. He thinks that people who manifest don't do any work, and that is absolutely untrue.
I worked for it.
Yes, you worked for it, but you claimed it first. You believed in it. You knew that it was going to happen.
100%.
And then the tools, resources, and systems, the opportunities came so that it would happen. You made it evident. You made it real, but you believed it first.
100%. You're right about that.
You manifested
I
it.
did believe it. This conversation you will probably always win because there's so many people that believe in the manifestation. And they
I'm not competing with you. I'm just educating
I'm just saying
you.
most people would always be on your side for this. And maybe there's not many people who understand how I'm looking at it. Not understanding in terms of like you don't understand it, but
You're
like
negative.
seeing my perception. I'm not negative.
You're a pessimist.
I'm expected. Okay. Are you gonna get a prenup when you get married?
Probably.
You know what you're doing, don't you?
Expecting.
You know what you're doing, don't you? You're manifesting divorce.
Do you know why I'm going to get a prenup when I get
Because you're
married?
manifesting divorce.
Because y'all in these relationship
You
podcasts.
can't change the game now, bruh. If
Because
you are
you guys-
truly manifesting being together forever.
Do you know why I'm probably going to end up getting a prenup? Because you podcasters with these mics and these cameras have made men believe that black women only want them for their money. And now, in order for us to be loved and married, we have to prove how real we are and how genuine we are and how much we love you. And we got to prove that we don't want any of your money. And we're willing to go 50-50 on everything and take what's ours upon the exit. So because you guys have brainwashed
Oh my gosh.
so many people.
Now look, prenup is protection of your asset. It has nothing to do with divorce. It's just y'all picking and choosing what we're manifesting, what we're not.
You know what I'm tired
There's
of?
picks and choosing.
I'm tired of you podcasters out here with these mics and cameras.
I don't be talking to no black men about black women and stuff like that.
I'm sick of you podcasters with this influence, with these downloads and these cameras and these opinions that are unfounded.
They say you don't trust your wisdom when choosing a mate. You don't trust it. You need to manifest. Don't get no prenup. You're manifesting bad things. All right, y'all. We love you. We thank y'all for joining the conversation. Your comments mean a lot. Create discussion in the chat. If there's anybody that agrees with me, that manifestation is kind of silly, just
there
show
are
me some
so
love.
many people who believe in you.
Just show me some love, y'all.
And they are probably not
That made me
living the
feel
life that
crazy.
they desire to live.
I love y'all. Hey, if you need help as an entrepreneur, there are two amazing communities that you should be a part of: Morning Meetup and Actionable CEO. You can be coached by me or Donni or both.
Or both.
Join them both. Let's go. Get your yearly membership.
Both of them.
We love you.
That's going to be the name of the offer. We're going to have Actionable CEO, Morning Meetup, and then BOFFUM. BOFFUM. You don't like it?
Over. All right, y'all. Y'all have a good day. I'm a little more professional than that. Oh, God. If you like the video that you just watched, click this one. You're going to like this one, maybe even more. Click it right now.
What we talking about?
Yeah.
We on live and it's social proof. We about to let you in the room. We on live with the CEOs and the MMU up in these holes.
Oh, and I was about to ad-lib that joint too. Got me in the world.